Out of the way. That way. Behind the way. That's it.
They kept his face right. Yeah, put a towel over my arm for you.
Start a little early as we come to this very special time of the year, Easter. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to introduce Monsignor Walsh from Our Lady's Parish, who will be introducing, setting the scene for our Passion Play.
Thank God for the beautiful day. I think if we look around us this morning, we realise very quickly, don't we, that we're a very long way from the events of that first Good Friday. Here in this beautiful town of ours, this sedate and leafy place, where, thank God, we have peace and prosperity, contrasts dramatically with Jerusalem of that first Good Friday. And at this particular moment on that first Good Friday, the sham trial of Jesus was over, and he was being dragged through the streets of Jerusalem to his execution. Dragged through the streets of Jerusalem, broken, covered in bruises, his flesh ripped, with the scourges, the spit of the Roman soldiers on his face and hair, carrying the heavy beam upon which he would be crucified in a short time. But just imagine for a moment the smells and the sound of that Friday. Just the sense in which he was jostled and pushed, jeered at, those who were crying and weeping and grieving, hysterical, to see him in such a state. Those who jeered at him and laughed and were delighted that at last his end was here. And those who just were there, watching and listening, quizzical, wondering what it was all about. And yet in the middle of all of this was this man, somehow, despite the terrible pain he was in and the condition of his body, serene, calm, quiet, suffering quietly. This is our Jesus. And many before us have asked the question, why on earth was this necessary? Why? Why did God have to go to this extreme to save us? And really there's no answer, except to say that we have an utterly crazy God. Crazy. What crazy love! To send his own son to that kind of death, unimaginable in its brutality and the extreme of torture, to save you and me. It wasn't necessary, none of it was, but he did it. He did it to show us that he was serious about loving us. And when he says to us, I love you, and points to the cross, we can never doubt the seriousness of our God. He really does love us. And when weakly we try to say back to him, I love you, it sounds a bit unconvincing, doesn't it? And yet, dear friends, God isn't interested in dramatic gestures. He's not interested in how authentic we sound. He just watches the heart. Do you love me? And he sees straight away whether we do or not. So we are here, and we're not actually that far from that crowd. We've walked through the main road of the village, and some of our townspeople have been staring at us, haven't they, quizzically, wondering what it's all about, scratching their heads and laughing and having a quiet word with each other. These Christians, they're off again. We don't care, do we? We're here to love. We're here to love our God, to give him some love back. It's only small, but it's enough. Look at all the effort people have gone to bring us together today. That's love. So let's love now our God, who loved us so incredibly deeply. And may our play today just give us a glimpse into the terrible events of that day by which God saved the whole human race in his wonderful, wonderful Son, our Saviour, Jesus Christ. Amen.
What's this you're talking about? You must be the only person in the whole of Judea who hasn't heard about what's been happening in Jerusalem.
About Jesus, the prophet, the Messiah, some said. He gave us such hope, but the high priest stood against him.
Then the Romans crucified him. We were devastated.
I even heard a rumour that the veil of the temple was torn in two.
No! I don't know what to make of it all.
I can say things like that. We rely on the donations from the wealthy. Poor have nothing to offer.
But at least we make a good profit when they change their money for the temple money.
Yes, and that profit goes to us, not the temple.
Weary heart just tired. If the world would leave you wanting swords and clubs? Am I a criminal? I was preaching in the temple every day. Why didn't you arrest me there?
You are a troublemaker, and you'll answer to the high priest and the Sanhedrin.
Will believe in you.
Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. Did the Son of Man not say that he would rebuild the temple within 3 days? Is it so difficult to believe that he would rise from the dead?
We're going to rest here for the evening.
Will you stay with us and join us in something to eat?
Yes, why not?